Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, honey, which is peppered by our own bitterness against life, or perhaps our own saltiness that it wasn't us. But at the end of the day, at our core, and we'll share with you a mild sweetness. Yay! Hi, guys.
It wasn't us. You started counting on the shower. It wasn't us. You saw me naming number Nova. It wasn't us. You never saw me number Nama. It wasn't us. You saw me naming what over. Hey, so today we're talking about Love During Lockup Season 2, Episode 5, or LALU Season 4, Episode 27. My fiance has a fiance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's Boston and Hottie and Ty. So it's a tie.
Wow. Let's start with them because Ty, I just think that she is doing the absolute most to remain on this show.
Yes, giving us the Teresa Dudite, the special, the Real Housewives of New Jersey, flip a table. They know how to stay on. That builds seasons.
I mean, this woman says, I'm not hostile while being hostile.
Have you seen yourself? I love that, literally all Boston had to do is be like, girl, you just flipped a table. And then Ty was like, you're right.
And then she's just so junior high asshole-ish about this other woman. Just a bitch.
There really is no reason to talk to Ty or talk to Boston other than to be like, hey, are you engaged to Hottie? And have, Boston be like, yeah, look at this ring. And then just be like, and then just incredibly go at Hottie, just get at him, call him and then go in. There's no reason to bring any sort of negativity or hostility. I mean, to what seems like a really cool person, Boston. I love Boston's whole demeanor. Can we talk about this for a second? So basically, okay, so Ty's sitting there and Ty calls Boston at first and she's like, she just wants to meet up and just talk. And she's like,
no. Hello. Yeah, Boston is Ty. Can we meet? Yeah. When or where?
Oh, should I be doing the other one?
At the tequila barn. When? Now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, now, bitch. Dumb fucking stupid bitch. Right now. Can we meet? Fucking stupid bitch.
Yeah.
What? Then she gets there.
She's eating animal crackers, by the way. My favorite part of that.
The whole time, just eating the animal crackers. Can we talk now? But my big
ass love animal crackers. Do you like
animal crackers?
We don't get to eat enough of them, I guess, as an adults.
Okay. You know what it is? It's like sugar cookies, but not as sweet, with a hint of cinnamon.
Yes, or ginger. I don't know if it's like cinnamon or ginger, whatever it is. It's just super yummy and just it feels like, yeah, since it's not that sweet, you can have 1 billion of them, but it's you really can't. It's it's a cross between a cracker and a cookie.
It's a crotch.
I mean, no, I'd rather snack on some animal crackers than certain crotches. So. Some of them not so cinnamony.
This bitch shows up at Tequila Station
and
is like, oh, looking Bearstein looking ass bitch.
About Boston, who's wearing a blue tight collared polo shirt buttoned down in the front, and then a blue acid wash, really short, pleated kind of schoolgirl, but very short skirt. I mean, I died when Ty said that. I was just that's one of the most amazing things ever. That builds characters on TV. That's just, she did look like a Bernstein Bears bitch. I mean, I can't even believe it. She said it because it's exactly what she looked like. I can't, one of the little sister. She looked like a little sister. I can't even.
I just really felt like she was being a fucking mean ass girl. And then I was not interested in it. It was just, she's so wild and crazy and mean to Boston that I can never support her in her choices. So even if she called her a Bernstein fucking bear, I was like, you, first of all, I didn't even recognize Ty. Ty looked with that way she had her scarf tied like Mother Teresa, and then her little baby hairs poking out with those oversized glasses and a red lip. She was trying to give some kind of fashion diva off of the runway. Some who's that woman, that fashion woman with the black hair and the big sunglasses, the big glasses. Not Anna Wintour, but somebody else. Anyways, she looked like that bitch, but younger. And then
E-
it's like she lost weight in
Elizabeth
her face.
Taylor? Elizabeth Taylor?
No,
Okay.
she lost weight in her face or something. I couldn't even recognize her. I said, "Is this Ty?" She just looks so weird, and she just is like just being such a mean girl. And then she's like, "When's your wedding?" and like scoots closer to her.
Yeah.
It is just being so aggressive. And also, Boston is a dumb bitch too, because this will be the third time they've met, and the first two times Ty has attacked her. Could you imagine? Like you just be getting your ass beat on TV
But
for the
wait,
whole world to see, and you
but you
keep
get to
on
be on
coming.
TV. But you get to be on TV, you know. I know if you go to Boston's Instagram right now, do you think that hashtag 90 day, I'm sorry, what are we talking about? Hashtag love after lockup is in the bio? I think it is. Wait, 1 second. My dad's calling my name, even though he knows I should be doing a thing.
Chris, Chrissy, Chrissy.
I know.
Yeah, Dad. Daddy. Yeah.
I'll kill you. You know what
Can
I'm saying?
we,
Okay,
Chrissy? Can you come change the TV? I don't
no,
know what's happening with it.
okay,
Dad, I'm
I'll
doing my
kill you.
show.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I'll kill you.
never mind.
It'll take me so long now. You live far away. So I'll drive there. It took me 4 days. But so here's the thing. I just am saying I think that gets off probably that she's on the show, and I'm saying it. She uses the hashtag in her Instagram bio. She likes it. She gets to be on the show every year. All she has to do is just get like the shit kicked out of her, and she signs up. You know, she signs the release form every time. Every time. She's okay. So we'll wait. Anyway, so as I okay, so anyway, basically, they're just going back and forth on their barbs, you know, like I like your hoe skirt, I like your fake teeth, and then, honey, it just like escalates. Um, well, I should know that she's muted. So then Ty
Lock
that
up.
after that escalation just like knocks the whole table over, and then honey, and then all hell breaks loose. Now they're eating outside, so then we get like a scared looking Boston, and behind Boston is a restaurant employee who like obviously now has to clean up a bajillion messy messes on the fucking street. And there's just like a, I don't know, bridal party, like you have a bunch of girls like, what's happening at that table over there, like, you know, everyone's like looking at or whatever, and this like poor restaurant person is like, by the way, blurred out, didn't release themselves, you know, and just Boston to sit there, just like sitting on a chair with nothing in front of her. And then, yeah, like Ty then goes and tries to immediately have a confessional with the producers. Boston's like, is that what just happened? That's what's happening. That's what it is. And they're still like talking and screaming back and forth. And then at one point, yeah, like Boston to Ty says, like, you are a hostile person. And Ty's like, no, I'm not. And Boston's like, you just flipped a table. And then Ty's like, okay,
You're right. You're right.
let's talk. Can you come here, please? And just like makes Boston cross the street.
Yeah, come
And
here.
then but then immediately they just like come to common ground. You know, Ty says that, you know, she really hates Hottie for what he's done to them. And then like Ty like goes on what feels like a victim monologue where she just like basically asks Boston for forgiveness, you know, and Boston just is like rolls her eyes, just like smacks her tongue, and it's just like, I guess.
Boston is not gonna give up Hottie. Like she's like,
No.
I don't understand what you're saying. Like me and this man have been together forever. And just because okay, sister wife, okay. Why can't you settle into the fact that you and I are gonna be married to the same man? I'm okay with it. Calm the fuck down.
Wow, you think that's like a brilliant thing. Like you know, like it feels like if these women could come to common grounds, they would have a lot of fun if like, you know, it feels like they have like some commonality. They just like I feel like Ty actually likes Boston. Now Boston only doesn't like Ty, but I think Ty likes Boston. I think Ty, you know, has a lot of like things that she has to like work out. You know, she has all these men on the Rolodex. Like Ty should have left a billion years ago. Wow.
Ty should stop being a fucking lunatic. talking about she's gonna get married. Like, this is such a weird fake storyline, and she's all in because she wants to be on the Real Housewives of used to be on Love After Lockup. Like, she is bidding. She's like waiting for her chance. I got one shot. What is that song? It's a musical. It's
Oh,
from Hamilton. One shot. It's like she's literally
yeah.
banking on Love After Lockup. And the truth is that Love After Lockup doesn't ever get anybody where they probably want to be when from on the reality TV spectrum. Like, I'm gonna say that Puppy and Amber are probably some of the most long-lived cast members that are consistently working for Matt Sharp and Love After Lockup. Like, I'm trying to think, like,
Brittany and Marcelino.
Yeah, Brittany and Marcelino too. But it's like, you are no Brittany. Okay, Ty? You could never be Brittany. Brittany is our heroine, okay? Even though she knocked that bitch out, that was some riveting ass television. You could never. It's like I feel sorry for her because she's trying so hard and she looks so stupid doing it.
She does look stupid. Like, after they hug, she just like sits her ass on the curb, and I was like, ugh, girl, on the curb, like that's where the trash goes,
Basura. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to this old biddy and this boy, because this girl did not know she was dating a drug addict. This is Jessica and Dustin. Remember, we haven't seen them in a couple of episodes or in one episode. And this is Jessica, who was a nurse. And this is Justin, some young buck who caught her eye in the prison. And so she quit to work somewhere else and started dating this fool. And now the DOGC or DOJ is trying to stop her from visiting him. And she went and fully got that motherfucker's name tattooed on her whole ass abdomen. And then she goes and she meets his family, which his sister, she pretty.
Yeah.
That sister was, I said, this bitch is pretty.
April.
Yeah. And this is one of the least hostile family of the prisoner that we have come in contact with since Bird Bones redhead.
That was my
yeah. I don't remember her name. But normally the inmate's family is pretty hostile to the new person. And this family was like, yeah, good luck. He's a fucking addict. But all the best.
The fucking addict part is honestly like what it should be the title of this episode, because it's not even Jessica. It's also going to be like Melissa and Louis later. Who's like, I think probably like for some reason, a lot of women who are living in a delusional fairy tale land where they're going to like save some man from prison. And he's just like, everything that he said to her while in prison was true. She's going to save him because all he needed was just her love and a stable situation, which her love can provide. So check and check. He comes out and becomes like a prince to her, a king to her. This is true. This is what they think. And like, they don't even consider the very real situation that these people have been dealing with, the disease, and terribly so, called addiction, that has been probably at the forefront of a lot of the decisions that cause them to be in a predicament they are in. And so it's just like, it feels like it's like hitting them in the face. But Jessica is crazy. Like, Jessica's daughter, Bailey, is gorgeous too. I know you said April's gorgeous. She is. So Desiree is also like Dustin's, I think, either aunt or sister. She's wearing crazy pants. But Bailey, who's Jessica's daughter, is just like, I mean, get that girl modeling contract. So the sisters go in about Dustin. They say like, he's never been loyal to a lady, and like they also just like, we also hear the phrase jail talk a lot this episode, like it's not just one thing that they're addicts, but also all of these men know that they run up against the stereotype of the fact that men in prison talking to women do jail talk. Well, how would you describe jail talk?
Jail talk is where you fantasize about the future with your mate. If you guys remember last season with India and Harry very much jail talked the shit out of India to where she thought this man was going to come out of prison and she was going to marry and run off into the sunset. And the moment he got out, he wanted his dick wet in her and everybody in the streets. Like, he was just doing the most. And it's like the same thing. Like, Louis is a former addict. Dowry is an addict. Justin is an addict on meth. Meth is crack. I mean, it's not the
Yeah.
same, but it's the same. It's like meth did to the white community and the Latino community what crack did to the Latino community and the black community. Like, it is a wild ass drug that people do not come back from. And I literally grew up in a time where that was the drug that people were doing when I knew that they were like really bad off. It's wild. So for any person to think that they are going to, I just feel like any person who's never had an addiction, who wants to be in a relationship with someone who is an addict, it can never be possible because you don't truly understand what it is to be an addict. You don't get it. And so how is it that you feel that you're going to support this person? Like, now, if this person is 5 years sober outside of prison, or 5 years sober and had copious amounts of counseling or whatever, then I could see it happening. Like, Brittany is a good case of somebody who was on meth and figured it out, right? But not everybody has that willpower or that strength or that tenacity. Especially, and this is what I've noticed, if your parent is straight laced, you tend to, if we're talking about 90 Day Fiancé, I mean, Love After Lockup, think about it. Brittany's mother was a drug addict too. So Brittany understands what it's like to grow up with a parent who's a drug addict. Then you have somebody like Destiny. Destiny's mother was a drug addict as well. Almost a lot of these people are lineage of drug addicts. And it's just like, it's really hard for people to kind of either end the cycle if they're unable to see how they are contributing to the cycle. And I think Brittany was somebody who was able to see how she's contributing to the cycle, where Destiny is not somebody who's able to see how she's contributing to the cycle. And you're trying to get with Louis, and she's like, I think I'm, oh wait, I skipped a person. Let's go back. So let's not do Louis. But like, Jessica she has given up everything and is going to move to Tennessee to be with this person. And that car ride home with her daughter Bailey was real fucking silent.
Yeah, they had gone crafting with all these women, and I just don't know if they were gonna go back and pick up those crafts. It's like, are they gonna like really, really, like, what are you gonna do with those things, honey? Like, they like did like some sort of watercolor thing you hang or something. I was just like, it was called like broom and brew, or like broads and brushes or something like that. I'm quite sure. I should have looked at it, but it's like not my job too. But yeah, like Jessica really feels like, and I've already said this, but she actually does say it, that like it's her job to keep him off of drugs. Like that's how she internalizes. That's what Jessica says.
I know what I'm saying. That's stupid and wrong.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, yeah, that's what she said. Wah! Anyway, yeah, but yeah, like she says it. Yeah, like it's like she says it. Like she internalizes the struggle that Dustin has with drugs as being like, well, it's gonna be my struggle too. I'm taking it on, and it's so crazy because it's like, Jessica, like, you aren't, for like all intents and purposes, and like some like super sheltered girl from like the country who has never seen what incarcerated men or the choices that they made or what brought them there. You've never heard any tales. You never talked to anyone. It's like, bitch,
you're a goddamn nurse.
Yes, I know. So it's like, it's so crazy that she doesn't understand addict life, or she doesn't understand what addicts, like what happens with them. So what happens with them is just like they have to find their footing. And truly, to me, no person that knows what's happening with the world and themselves and is making good choices would ever be with an addict or anyone that's coming out of prison that dealt with such things, because anyone would know that they need to like find their own way and find who they are in the world and get their bearings, until they can be ready to share their lives with someone. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. But Jessica like is in some sort of like weird alternative Disney fantasy.
What would be really great to see on this show actually is somebody get in over their head and then be like, oh no, I'm out.
Like if Jessica,
she needs to call him and be like, hey, I talked to your sister and they told me that you're a meth head. You're a meth addict. Is that true?
Well, what if he was like, not anymore, baby? Like, yeah, like I did have some problems back then, but like I haven't touched it, like what if?
Yeah, but you haven't touched it because you're in prison?
Well, yeah, obviously I'm in prison, so but I'm like, I wouldn't do it. I don't want to do it again. I saw what had happened to me. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to go into counseling when you come out?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing counseling now. It's part of my prison thing, like me and the
I'm
You know?
gonna need you to be 2 years sober, and then we can have this discussion. So unfortunately, I won't be able to support you because I have a daughter and I really need to take care of her. She's going to college, and I need to be financially stable for her in case anything happens. So I love you. I do love you, and I have your name tattooed on me, and so that's a choice I made. However, I think what's going to have to
No.
happen is that in 2025, if you're sober still and you've been clean the entire time, and if you can show me your coins from Narcotics Anonymous or AA or whatever you go to, then we can pick it up from there. But I really want you to be happy and heal, and I'm just not in a place financially or emotionally where I can support you through this process. And I will get up and clap because that's what needs to fucking happen.
First of all, the show wouldn't exist if that happened. If all these people like made such rational decisions, the show would not be happening. But as we know, like, wow, God bless. So, now, this is the sad part about
Tony, dude. You remember Angela? Tony. Remember Angela and Tony? No?
Oh God, no, for some reason, no. Okay. So sorry, I was like, I will tell you this: the sad part of this whole thing comes in the most telling part. Because already I was like, why is Jessica making such horrible decisions for someone who has worked in the field and like knows like what she's up against? Bailey says she thinks he is going to keep doing drugs. And then she said, and drag her mom into it. And I was like, holy shit, Bailey thinks that her mom's just going to like succumb to Dustin's drug addiction. Like he's going to drag her down and there's going to be like in like a drug den again. That's what Bailey thinks is going to happen to her mom.
Oh no, I think she thinks that, her mother's just going to be on the wild ride with him.
I mean, if you're gonna really become close to someone, like, and you want to be with someone, like, and that person is into something. Listen, if he's into golf, he better take up golf. You know what?
Never.
Okay. So, anything else to say about them, babe?
I mean, nothing, but I really want you to remember Angela and Tony.
Okay, I'll look them up if you move on.
Angela had she had blonde hair. She was 40. She had her own trailer. She smoked chain cigarettes, but her face was very specific and her teeth were doing a jig in her mouth. You don't remember? You know what? It's wild. I thought she was in the first couple of episodes that you watched because you saw Tracy and Clint.
Oh, kind of now. God, she looks like a version of Jenny from Jenny and Sumit.
Yes.
With someone else. Kind of.
Tony. Dude, Tony.
Oh, what happened? Oh my God. What happened to her, do you think?
Oh, she got her teeth fixed and she let go of that guy, but she started talking to somebody else in prison. She's not on the show anymore, but she did it for like 3 or 4 seasons. And I rooted for her every single time because she was great. She was great TV.
Okay. Basically, okay, great. So let's move these onesies, onesies to. Do you want to do Chelsea and Mikey?
Chelsea, yeah.
Yeah.
So Chelsea is a terrible mother because she puts her love interest, I don't have a picture of them, in front of her son. So she like packs up her son's shit and is like giving it to somebody else to take care of while she fucking goes off, drives 10 hours to Kentucky or whatever the fuck to go hang out with Mikey's mother. And let me just tell you, Mikey's Mima and Mama, they are so sweet. They immediately tell this girl that how pretty she is, and they're talking to her. I mean, this is the first time they've been around somebody who's deaf because she definitely wasn't enunciating and using her jaw and lips in order to say the things that she needed to say. But I assume that Chelsea is used to people dang dong danging down dong danging to her, so she was able to see what's happening. But we find out that we found out last episode too, but it drives home that she's never actually heard Mike's voice or like talked to him on the phone. It's always been through some other method. And Mima and Mom are really lovely to her, and I thought that was great for her.
Yeah, like it did make me sad when she's like, you have to make sure to like, that my son takes a bus home, like it's just like, why don't you just like not, like date the convict and just like, why don't you just like not worry about
what she wants love, Chris. She wants love.
Take care of your son right now. Like, come on, girl. Just like, winters are coming. So yeah, it was interesting. When she pulled up to the mom's house, we first just hear a bunch of chimes, which then of course,
We
you
know
know,
she doesn't hear it. God
he
damn
gets
it.
cut out. I know. I love chimes. And then I'm like, who is that? His mom? And no, that's a grandma. So the grandma's name is Evelyn, and then Pam is named as Mikey's mom. And yeah, they always call the right times, and so Mikey calls, and so that's when of course he gets to hear Chelsea's voice. And basically Pam tells Chelsea that everything that she's been told is true. Like there was a mini stroke, that the jail moved Mikey to like another hospital, but the jail was being really, really shady, like because he was complaining about some symptoms, but the jail like basically was like, oh, it's just dehydration. Like don't worry about it, like walk it off, tough guy, or whatever the hell it is. While he's having a stroke, and then like then when he actually went to a hospital, they were like not forthcoming about that, and either they said this or it was known that the reason why is because they were afraid that people would come and try and like break him out of whatever like podunk hospital he's in, because it wouldn't have like high security. Okay, so but that's one of the reasons why she wants to like talk to the lawyer. So but yeah, so he kind of like lets the women know what's happening. And the mom is trying to like tell Chelsea what he's saying. And it's also revealed, by the way, that Grandma Evelyn has 7 tattoos. Mom has none. And then Chelsea wants to get Mikey's signature tattooed on herself as a surprise to Mikey. Such like a similar theme of like people wanting to get their men's names tattooed on them. Swaz?
Yeah, I mean, when did Mima get them tattoos in like 1970? Because
What
like,
yeah, tell me. I need like a Rolodex of what they are right now.
yeah, I need to know what they are, and like, how does it that your mother has them, but you don't? Usually, people kind of do what their parents do. So I imagine Mima is like, here's what I'm thinking.
Tell me.
I'm thinking Mima is an early boomer. Like I'm thinking that she's like on her way to 80.
Grandma's an early boomer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And mom is a late boomer. Like I feel like they're in the same generation, right? Because there's boomers and then there's Generation X. So I feel like mom was born in like 65, but she just looks like she's had a hard life. Mom was born in 65. Grandma was born in like 42.
42?
Oh, wait a minute.
42? That's a
Wait.
long ass time.
Well, my
Right?
dad is born in 48. So I imagine that he's like that she's like born in like 44, 45.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And then like because first of all, grandma looks like she don't look that much older than mom. And she looks
Yeah.
like she's in better health than mom or something. So that's why I'm like, they must be the same generation. And I imagine that Mikey, along with Chelsea, they're both Generation X. So like they're born in the late 70s.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just wish I could see every tattoo the grandma has in a
Wait a
specific
minute. I'm still
before
doing
and after.
my theory. This is the
Oh,
reason why I say this. I feel like Mima, when did she get them tattoos? Like, are they like tattoos from like the fucking 60s, or did she start getting tattoos in the 90s? Like, it's just such an odd thing that the mom has 7 and she doesn't even want her to talk about it. She's like, shh, about my tattoos. Shh, don't tell anybody about my tattoos.
I know.
I'm like, damn. Tell us all about you. You are a spicy ass older boomer to have 7 tattoos. Like, really, only sailors and like whores of your generation had tattoos, right?
I don't know anyone of that age that has tattoos. I mean,
At
not
all.
like that's why I want to say I want to see the pictures of each tattoo, and then I want to see what it looked like when you first got it and what it looks like now. Like
Mima, Mima did some shit. Okay. Mima was probably doing stuff. Maybe she went to Vietnam. Like, I don't know, but maybe she was in the Korean War and she met a man and then she just like went off and got a tattoo, because it's very rare for that generation, especially women, to have the tattoos. They're of that generation where only like sailors got it on their arm. And then even then, like, yeah,
Maybe
tattoos
we're
being
missing something. What if she was either A, a tattoo artist, or B, in a biker gang, Then it would culturally make sense. I think we're missing
yeah.
maybe she invented tattoo ink because she needed something to practice on.
And she
You
just
know?
settled in Kentucky as the adventor of
A tattoo
Tattoo?
ink. Yeah, I don't listen, I'm just trying to like form my mind around it, like listen, maybe she went to prison. And if she went to prison,
It
maybe she,
explains Mikey.
well, no, as I say, it explains the ink.
Oh, okay.
There's
That's
not
fair.
you get ink in prison.
That's fair.
Yeah, so basically that Chelsea is just like gets to hear all that, and or actually just she horrible. She doesn't really hear that. She understands that now to be true, all the stuff they told her. And she is on her journey to Mikey, the love of her life, and he seemingly is legit, and so is his family so far.
We still don't know about his wife because the jail, unless they were just being like chismosas, told the dad that there was another person reaching out, like a wife and a kid. So there's still that mystery to be solved.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So and that whether that I took that to maybe being her, like she's called. So whether the friend later on is like, yeah, this girl keeps calling, that could have been Chelsea because Chelsea has a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know. But let's move on to a great couple, fine couple, Melissa and Louis.
Oh God.
Oh my god, honey. So, Melissa, like, listen, I don't for Melissa, when she gets on a case, Melissa's on a case. I mean, she goes to Louis, like Georgia, like place with all of his like mom and his like family and life there, and then goes on the hunt like a little investigator, like talks to the mom, goes and sees him there, fucks him there when she's not even supposed to do that. Like she gets in there. So this now she's going to see his friend Dirk. I'm not quite sure how she like found this person, but basically he's Louis' friend and old boss at Pizza Guy in the Sky, which there's an old picture they show of Louis. I mean, very, very young Louis flipping that dough. The dough's big. That man can flip. Louis, honey, he's Italian. He knows how
From
to make
10 years ago. So
yeah.
like Louis hasn't I thought this entire time that Louis lived in and got in trouble in New Jersey where she lived and that his mom sometime during the melee just moved to Georgia. But it looks like Louis got his addiction and all the trouble that he got into in Georgia.
Mhm.
So it's crazy that Dirk is like, so tell me how Louis was in high school. And every time they mention fucking high school, which was 20 goddamn years ago, I'm pissed off because I don't fucking care about Louis in high school. He is not that person anymore. No one who's the person that they were in high school. So why are we talking about it? But,
Yeah.
anyways, it's like, yeah, we knew he was in trouble. We knew he was doing drugs. And that's the thing about addicts. They're incredibly great liars. And, I finally had to fire him because he was in the bathroom doing Oxycontin. Now I have questions. Was he like, why is he in there for 30 minutes? Like, is he crunching it up? Is he like snorting it? Is he like, what, isn't Oxycontin like a pill and you just take it? I don't know. But anyway, so he was doing whatever. I don't know if he was like putting it in a spoon and burning it and like injecting it. I don't know. But like he's in the bathroom for 30 minutes and they're like, you can't be in here. You can't be doing that. So they had to let him go. And he's like, look, Louis has a job here when he gets back. And she's like, oh, really? That's very interesting because Louis told me that he's going to come to Jersey, but it looks like he's telling you and his mother
Yeah, yes.
that he's going to stay here. And Dirk's like, yeah, I guess he's telling us both different stories. Yeah. So do you know anything about Rutu, his yoga instructor? And so then she decides that she's going to go talk to Rutu, which is great for the storyline. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was a really smart move. So
Oh,
she goes to Rutu, and then we see this this like 47-year-old Indian woman.
oh, I didn't think she was that much older than I think she's the same age as Melissa. I don't think she was that much older. That's so funny. I didn't read her as being old.
No, I definitely read her as being like 45 and like just looking good because she does yoga. I mean, like,
She does look good.
I mean, and by looking good, it is just that she's thin and like not even a thin, like Melissa has more body than her. And I don't want to body shame at all. But what I'm saying is I was looking at Rutu and I was like, oh, he's not interested in her. And Melissa's like, yeah, she's beautiful. And I'm like,
Oh, I
oh, I mean, she's not ugly. She's just not.
Yeah, I listen, I think that also, but here's the thing, Dirk was like, he's like a moth to a flame. He likes flirting with women. And so I think that also Louis, who probably didn't have a lot of women to look around, I'm sure was very happy to see a Rutu, like, and Lululemon come in, like,
Well,
and
she's
get no way in
married.
front of him. Louis? I'm talking about how Louis felt seeing Rutu. I'm sure he was
Rutu's married. I don't know why she didn't say that.
okay, yeah,
She
but
has a
it
ring
just I
on.
don't. You know what? You're right, but I don't think that stopped Louis from like, just maybe thinking that she's a little cutie or whatever. I mean, listen, I think that it's interesting because Melissa also had Lululemon on. She had like a black ensemble. I clocked it. This also was a weird situation because Melissa also found out from Dirk that Louis was in fact an addict and somehow didn't realize that or didn't understand how addicty he was or whatever. And I think uh doesn't also realize how horrible she comes off because this conversation after she's like grilled Dirk, she now like goes and talks to Rutu after the yoga class and is like really awkward about it. Like, hi, I'm Louis' girlfriend. Yeah. So I just want to find out why is he in a yoga, huh? And she's like, just, I think that it brings him peace, like it just, I think it's, really good for him. And
Yeah. He's looking for something that helps him and stabilizes him and keeps him happy. And I felt like she should have said, it's really good for his recovery. It's something that keeps him centered, something that makes him happy. And it's like a new thing that was never a part of his life. And to introduce new things to your life post becoming a new person and being, no longer being an addict is really helpful. And then Melissa makes it not bad. I don't think Melissa did a crazy job. Like she didn't come out there like fully Guido and was like, "Why does he like you, huh?" Like she didn't do that, but she did. She was like, "Yeah, I could see why he was looking at you, coming to yoga because of looking at you." And then Rutu got immediately very
uncomfy.
fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like she looked at the producer and was like, "Oh, I didn't know it was going to be this."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I gotta go."
I don't know what to tell you. I wouldn't worry about it. I gotta go teach another class and gets her like really shapely behind right out that door. So then yeah, Melissa calls Louis and asks him about everything she's learned on her like discovery mission of like who Louis is and like what he wants, and he basically says the thing that we all know, which is he's going to be on probation. He has to go live like in a place where the correctional officer like understands where he is and is like a functional, safe, stable place. And he has to be there for a certain amount of time. And while he's going to be there, he wants to like be able to like make a little money on the side. And so Dirk has offered him a job and he said yes, and like, yeah, it's not a big deal. And instead of like Melissa thinking that he's going to immediately move down to New Jersey, which I think was a fool's errand, a fool's choice, because that's not really what happens. You have
Yeah,
to, yeah.
it's jail talk. And he's not even in fully fucking jail. So there's no reason for him to not lay things out to her to where she can truly take them in. Like he's
Mhm.
been lying to her. He's
Okay.
been like making it seem to her as though like as soon as he gets out, he's coming to Jersey and he's gonna live with her and they're gonna like fuck until the sun comes up every single night. Like that is what he has sold to her. And she right it like I guess you could say she is being naive about it 100%, but I don't think it's fully her fault. And when she calls
Mhm.
him and she calmly asks him about his plans, he immediately gets upset. Well, like, yeah, duh. And she's like, but that's not what you said to me. And he gets defensive and he's like, I'm gonna hang up on you. And I'm like, yeah, no. She's like, and then she even says, like, yeah, the fact that he decided to hang up on me or tried to threaten that is a red flag. And I'm like, girl, all I want to see is you to say no, never mind then. Because you lied to me. You didn't tell me what it really was. You fed me this pipe dream and didn't truly explain to me what the situation was.
She would be smart to know, and any wise woman would tell her, at this point, Melissa, you've already gotten the hottest thing that will ever happen to you, which is making out, like when he's like at prison, like that kind of moment, like that would sustain a person for the rest of their life, knowing that hot ass moment happened. Like, ooh, I just like made out with this like guy that I really, really liked, and he like maybe like fingered me, whatever, like in some barn or whatever, and he like literally like go back to jail for years. We got through with it. We got away with it, and he hasn't seen a woman in so long, and I thought so. Like, oh my god, and I just turned him on so much. Like that would sustain me. Be on my deathbed. Be my last words would be like, I fucked a guy in prison, kind of. You know, like I would be so happy about it. So at this point, her best moment has already happened with him. She should just cut her losses and go. Yeah, because what makes him also hang up is like when she also like asks about Rutu. Then he's like, huh, you know, because he also realizes, I think probably in that moment, that he never brought up Rutu, never brought her up. So and it's a weird ass name, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, you know, I'm not like whatever. It's like obviously not like Nina or like, Sarah. So like for her to say it perfectly means that she's been talking to people about it. Like, I mean, in this case, obviously talking to people about it, went to a class, downward dog, talked to her after, freaked her out. You know what I'm saying? And so when she brings up Rutu, like he realizes that she's a crazy stalker, and also B, that she has her number. Literally, figuratively, she has his number too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I felt for her in that moment, and really her and Jessica just need to make the decision that makes me happy, which is for them to be like, yeah, no, this is a lot. I just wanted to have a lot of sex. I didn't want to help you recover.
Then the season would be over. So you want every season to happen to be like 5 episodes.
I mean, this is love during lockup. So they could do it on Love After Lockup then.
They could just bring in more people. I mean, they obviously have a never-ending Rolodex of people to like bring on this show. So
yeah, they don't need to have anyone on Love After Lockup, like Life After Lockup. Like they could have just people on Love, the regular one, Love After Lockup, and it could be a new person new group every single season.
Well, I mean, they just don't know the riches that they have. So we have 2 more Coops the Dupes that talks about the bouts, and that's Justine and Michael, and then the couple I hate the most, Mark and Cecilia. So let's talk about Justine and Michael. Listen, Justine,
I hate them. They're so boring.
Justine, you hate? Justine and Michael, you hate?
Oh my god, so stupid and boring. Like fuck, whatever.
Oh, well, I mean, listen, I like it. Like she's coming hot off of her like Sweet 16 style wedding gift present. Like I just don't see like a wife get like a car like that, whatever. But anyway, so her friend's like, "What year is this?" And she's like, "No,
her cousin,
her cousin
Mariah from Rhode Island."
Okay, you're right. What year is this? New. It's 2020. New. It's
because she doesn't know.
Yeah, of course. It could easily be like 2 years old. So they like go around her room, and she's so excited to show her cousin like all the disgusting shit that he sent her, including his blood, a blister, like a glove with his semen, and a toenail. Moi can't stand it. Moi can't stand what I'm saying. If you're watching on Patreon, Moi has her fingers in her ear. She cannot deal with what I'm saying, but that is what happened, and I have to report the news.
So fucking disgusting. It's so fucking disgusting, bro.
Yeah, like I just drove that car that he gave her because I was a rental, and like it came as a rental, and it's not a bad car. It's really easy to drive. I really want to know what it's like to drive a G-Wagon at some point. But anyway, yeah, like she just is like so obsessed with him. I'll tell you, I looked his music up even more. He has literally a song called Sells Drugs, like like sells SELL and then like Z drugs or whatever. And it's like obviously why he went to prison. He was like he sold fentanyl and stuff like that. So it's just I mean, there's like all this movement about like rappers being tried using their own song lyrics against them, and whether that should happen or whatever. And it's just like a mild version of that, not mild. I mean, by mild, I mean like a lesser known artist, but he, like Mariah is a little concerned of how her cousin's like gonna get these presents, and she doesn't mean the bodily presents.
Yeah. So Mariah is like, I would like to talk to him because, he calls anytime he wants to call her, right? Because she can't call him. He has to call her. So she always answers. And so just so happened that he answers or she calls and he calls her and she answers when Mariah is there. And she has some questions to ask. And Justine has already identified that this is the question that he doesn't like to answer, which is like how he gets his money. So she feels like there's some trouble a brewing that she might have to deal with on later on. But she's gonna let her cousin answer the question because she's solid and secure in her marriage and love of this guy. And so Mariah asks, like, how are you getting this money? And he says, I'm lucky I won the lottery. And then he like promptly hangs up. And I was like, this is exactly what we needed, is for him to go away because she's filming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was happy when
Like
he left. I was
my
like, bye.
music, like my YouTube views from my videos. I mean, there could have been some things. He has videos out. I looked at them, like exactly what you think, like a bad kind of like mediocre, rudimentary beats and just kind of like uncharismatic flow on top of that is what I would describe it, and like listen, am I a hip hop connoisseur? Like not from the way I look, but
No, she's not, you guys.
I feel like I
No.
know some things about
This
music. That's what I'm gonna
Yeah, I
say.
know you do know some things about music, but you're like, "Oh my god, did I ever tell you that Lil Wayne is like my favorite rapper of all time?" And then I was literally like, "Okay, Birdman Jr." And she's like, "What? Huh?
I knew Birdman Jr.
Give me one line from Birdman Jr."
I just don't know every word of it, but I
Give
know
me
it.
give me one sentence. Give me two words strung together.
Let's move on.
When the hollow head doc got him, knock his top to his bottom. Come on, something. Niggas in Pakistan ain't packing like your man.
Okay, so moving on. So and Michael, however, is not as good as Lil Wayne. I know that for a fact, and I don't have to be
I adjust for
fucking
different
Mozart to like figure that one out. So yeah, like the cousin is grilling him and he says like, she means the world to me, she deserves everything. It's so funny because when he says he won the lottery, it's just like we're coming hot off of a lot of the American lotteries recently, a lot, meaning too, like went up to like $1 billion, and just like that was just like dream money. Um, so Justine does wonder like if it's a hot car, like what happens if she gets pulled over with a kid, like would he do that to her? But she should know like whether she's gonna go get it checked out. Like that's what Mariah wants her to do, but she trusts him. She doesn't want to question him. Um
Mariah. Like babies with pacifiers. I have a question. If you won $1 billion, what would you do?
Not tell anyone.
Okay, next.
Try and like low key do like a secret compound, Tyler Perry, social media content compound, family compound somewhere where I just don't tell anyone, but I'm building and creating things.
A social media compound?
I would like to create like my living and studio situation. I guess, like I would like to create a big compound where all my family can live, and then I
Okay.
also like on the same property have like my studios and stuff like that, and I can like film different things, and I have like editors and stuff like that. And you just suddenly just be like, oh, Chris is doing a lot of consistent content, and it looks like the best it's ever looked. Is what you
Okay.
would just think.
So
That's all you would
there's
do.
two separate thoughts. You're gonna build a compound so all your family could live there, but also on that compound
Yes.
would be a studio so that you could do a bunch of different types of creative things,
See how
endeavors.
2 separate thoughts become 1 thought, you know what I'm saying? Yes, yes, it's not really 2 separate thoughts, it's like 1 thought where it's a compound, and on the compound, 2 different things. Yes, God bless, multi-use compound. There'll be, like, a panic room, and there'll be, like, like, if this all goes to hell, there'll be, like, a secret space you can just, like, ride the world and as it
Okay, so
ends.
like also doomsday prepping.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, in the way that, like, like, I think hardcore Mormons do, like, in the way that the sister wives did, like, how Christine had to give her, like, doomsday prep over to, like, Robin. Anyway, that's, like, insider thoughts. Okay, so going back to the show we're talking about, which is Love during Lockup, with Justine and Michael, I like them as a couple ultimately because I think they're a hot-ass couple. I think he's hot. I think that she's hot. Like, I like her body. I like his face. I feel like together they're, like, hot. I feel like they have good sex. I can feel it off of them. It makes me happy. I mean, if anyone's not good, I feel like it's her because she might be a pillow princess. What?
Yeah, I mean, she's just like annoying and her like I don't know where Mike gets his money from. I'm not gonna ask. But I trust him and I'm not gonna ask him. I'm just gonna trust him. And I'm like, says every mobster's wife, says every woman who would never like Listen, the truth is that Justine, this is the best thing that's ever happened to her is Mike. Even though he's in prison, she has 3 kids. And she found this man who dotes on her, gives her everything, makes her feel like a princess.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what is she going to do? Is she going to remain poor and like husbandless and just have these 3 kids on whatever? No, she's probably her entire life wanted someone to take care of her and love her and like whatever. And she's tried several times to get that. And now she's gotten it. So, this is like her only shot. And she's going to milk it for all it's worth when he goes back to prison again, as long as he continues to buy things for her and take care of her and send her expensive meats, then she's going to continue talking to him. Like, it just is what it is. She's a
I
drug.
agree.
Like, yeah, I mean, there is just a certain, I think it's the same like desire in certain women to be taken care of. And it doesn't matter how that person gets that money as long as they're being taken care of. And they'll be down and they'll do whatever and they'll be loyal and all those things because they want to be taken care of. Like, they want to feel that love.
Yeah, I
And
also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
No, you were so right. Like she does feel like a gangster's wife. You know, it feels like in the 1920s she would have like a voice like this, and she'd be like, "Oh, she'd just be like booping, popping around, in like short skirts, and he'd be like, "There's my girl," you know what I'm saying? And then she would just like leave when he do the guy talk. She wants to live blissfully in ignorance, because like blissful ignorance allows her to like drive around a Mercedes, and like if she, the truthful, authentic, grounded, reality doesn't probably is not like Mercedes,
It's not as fun.
she's gonna pick the Mercedes, like,
Yeah. More
um,
expensive meats. And like that's what
the
she
Omaha
wants.
steaks, she wants all the Omaha steaks.
The Wagyu steaks. She wants it all. So she's like, why would I
Mm.
give this up? Like, I don't care where he makes his money as long as he keeps me happy and he treats me well. And as long as I don't have to meet his other mistresses, like he married me, I'm the number one, I'm the most important. Like, he has other women, like he will when he get out. Like, he's not gonna be
Oh, yeah.
this is what she knows. It's like marrying a basketball player. Like, you just know that this is like a footballer. Like, you just know you're going to have to deal with a certain amount of shenanigans, but as long as you are blissfully ignorant and they take care of you and yours, then like why would you be upset? That's why I find her kind of boring, because she has nothing besides her identity as Mike's girl, and that's boring to me.
You know what? That's very smart, Wah, because I agree. Like what this couple needs is like a mid-season secret twist where
Yeah.
she's like, "You guys, but here's the other thing. I've also been talking to this other guy who's like right here." You know what I'm saying? Like that, or whatever it could be. It could be a
Yeah.
billion things. Um.
This
So
is
yeah.
very season 1 Love After Lockup,
Mm. Anything else to say about them, babe?
Nope.
Okay, so the couple you love to hate, and I certainly do, Mark and Sincere. Everything about him. I don't hate her. I hate her name, but I hate every morsel of this person. Him. I like hate him. I hate that person. Well,
Yeah, Mike, we start out this episode with him in some like desolate desert looking property. It looks like one of the houses that should be on Love Off the Grid. Like, just like what is this front yard backyard situation, and where he sends his person of color helper, whose face we never see, to the Mercedes to go to Home Depot and buy like 2x4 or whatever. And I'm like, why did you have to say take the Mercedes? Why didn't you just say take my car? So I was like, ugh, trash. And
yeah.
then his friend Dennis comes up, and you're like, these two are friends? Where'd they meet? At work? And then Dennis is like, yeah, I don't think that Mark's a bad guy, or he even like thinks what he's doing might be weird or awkward. I just think that that's who he is. Like, he just doesn't know. So then Mark ends up telling Dennis that he's like got this home here and this property, and it has 11 bedrooms. Now, does this specific property have 11 bedrooms? Like, I don't know. It doesn't look like it should. It looks like an abandoned like house built in 1976
Mhm.
that like needs some work done to it, but I can't tell. And he's like, you know what? He knows an underserved populace is single mothers. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Single mothers get everything. They get like food stamps, they get housing, They get a lot of things. Not everything. I shouldn't say that. Sorry to all the single mothers out there who might be upset
Like,
with
I
me for
don't know if
saying that.
that's true at all, Wa, but okay.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of single mothers, and they get a lot. They get a lot more than non mothers. Like, oh my god, they get like whatever. But yeah, they get access to food stamps. They have access to housing, even if it's a long list and a long line. Like, I know several single mothers who live in assisted homes and are very happy. So he's like, yeah, I think what I want to do is just like give them all a space to live in. And I'm like, unregulated? Like, who's going to take care of this home? Like, are you just going to have them? What is the criteria? They're just going to come here and live in the desert and just all live in this house together? And he's like, yeah, I guess like if they're out of prison too. And then he starts talking about getting Sincera pregnant so that she can do less time.
Mhm.
And you would think this man will Google something to know that that is not true. I know that's not true. We all know that's not true. And so he's like, yeah, I think I want to just like, have housing for single mothers. And I just the whole scheme just sounds so harebrained, and it
I
sounds not thought out at all. And it sounds just like very insincere. It just sounds
uh,
like he's trying to do it in order to be the guy who got an 11-bedroom home to give to single mothers. Because I'm like, how many kids do you have to have? Does each kid get their own room? Do they all stay in one room? Like, I just think of it as being like a disaster. Is there a house mother or like a rotation of people who are there to like review and make sure that no drugs are being done in this home and make sure that no fucking men are being in and out of these home? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't just put an ad out, hey, are you a single mom, you want to live here? Like, no, it has to be some kind of government ran or like subsidized, like private like it has to be something where he can't just do this and have it be like something that is for the good, unless he's truly like creating a nonprofit, getting all the right people in place in order to run it, because he can't run it. He's a fucking weirdo. He's over here trying to like figure out how he can send sperm in the mail. So then this fool gets on the phone with some girl named Kirsten who does not approve to have her voice on this, her face on this situation, but her voice. And then he three-ways Sincera so that Kirsten can convince Sincera to get pregnant. And they're on a fucking recorded line. And he's trying to convince these two women that they should get pregnant so they can serve less of time. And Kirsten's like, no, I've been pregnant in prison. You don't serve less time. In fact, I'm uncomfortable with this conversation because I can get in trouble for this and do more time. And she hangs up. Then what's her face is like, how many girls are you talking to? And he's like, oh, I don't know, 4. And she's like, you brought me on a show where I was supposed to be a person that was doing love during lockup with you, and now you're telling me that you have talked to 3 other women? And what you're talking about, I've already talked to you about and told you it's fucking stupid and it's not good. And I could get in trouble for even having this conversation. So I'm uncomfortable and I'm hanging up too. And it's just like blows up in his face. And he's like, oh, they both hang up. But before that happens, he doesn't realize that he's talking to Sincera when Kirsten is the one who hangs up. He can't even tell their voices apart when I can. I knew that it was still Sincera on the phone and that Kirsten was the one who hung up.
Yeah, no, it's messy things. Let me just tell you straight up a couple of things. I think he has a breeder fetish, and I think that he wants to just have this
Yes.
like
Yes.
house where a bunch of like pregnant women are there, so he can just have sex with them. 100%. They feel like, oh, like for rent instead of rent, just like f the master. 100% like the landlord or whatever. Like I feel like that he just wants like to be like a little like cult head figure, like polygamist of like these women, like that would like look up to him. Like that's he's already said that he doesn't feel good enough to date women in that are just out and about in normal life. Like he feels a certain less than that women would want something from him. And so he likes having women who are in a place of like desperate need, like, that need something from him and very little from him in order for him to feel validated and wanted. He's disgusting. I hate him. So anyway, God bless. Okay. So another thing is that with this pregnancy thing, I kept wondering, like, Mark, did you just watch an episode of some shitty television once and someone got pregnant and then therefore got out early? Like, was it an episode of, I don't know. I'm like, was it like season 5 of Orange is the New Black that I just missed? Like, why do you think think this is such a real thing that could happen. But yeah, these women shot him down so much. And when he gets them confused and like on their three-way call, like by the way, which reeks of like High School Mean Girl. I hate you so much, Mark. Three-way call. Like it just. I also, what did he think that like Sincere was going to be like happy to find out that he's talking to Kirsten? Like it really goes to show that I think that he would just like a polygamous lifestyle with a bunch of women, you know, and he's testing the waters always to see if how people would react to something like
Yeah,
that.
but Sincere is going to be in prison for like next like 7 years. Like, so it was weird for me that she got upset about that because I'm like, girl, like, you thought he was just going to be faithful for you for 7 years? I'm
Ah,
sure you're talking to other men.
that's great.
Like, he's putting money in your books. Like, what do you care if he's talking to other inmates? What does that matter? 7 years? Like, yeah, the last year of your prison sentence when you're going to come out and live with him, you're going to be like, hey, stop talking to them other bitches. But like, girl, what? No one's going to be faithful to you for 7 years.
Great
And then he was
point.
like, yeah, you're supposed to convince her. And Sincera's like, Mark, you are not talking to Kirsten. I'm really confused and like don't want to do this anymore. And it's just like awkward because it's like, why doesn't he know that this is like weird? Like now, to give him credit, I don't think that he was trying to keep it from Sincere because he got on three-way. So he was trying to like let her know, but like it didn't go over well and he looks stupid.
He definitely does. He definitely looks dumb, 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 da dumb, dumb, dumb. And I think that he is dumb. I think that he also just has like some, I think, social challenges that he just I feel like doesn't know social graces in the way that other people do. You know, I think that he's a weirdo, weird, you know, like who
Yeah.
for some reason has so much money, even though he's a computer engineer slash like goes to like live concerts at night. I mean, you know, listen, after this whole FTX thing, and we just like keep having all these exposés about all those crypto guys and those like nerdy computer guys that are just like in a polyamorous, which is fine. God bless, like penthouses living together and just like fucking and just like making billions and just like taking down governments and just like having whole industries just collapse. Like, you know, like those kind of, they are nerds. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, Wah, but like
No.
one thing is Colleen, I think, and like she was a Harry Potter fan. You know, like you should look her up. So anyway, God bless. It's like what's happening here, and so like nerds, listen, are like slowly taking over the world. A, so I guess we have to like pay attention to them, but also B, are just like to be wary. You know, like
They're always taking over the world. They're the smartest ones. One, two, nothing is wrong with polygamy. I think that polygamy or polyamory, I feel like it is the way we need to go. I feel like for people who are staunchly monogamous and that's what they know they love and their lifestyle is, but for the rest of us, let us live our lives.
okay. Having said that, we have come to the end of this episode. It was a really good episode. It's been a really great season, you know, and definitely as you watch the episode, definitely I watch it on TV. So if you're with like me on cable, they are already advertising next seasons of Love After Lockup and all the new couples. So it's just, I mean, a
Oh,
never
really?
ending. Oh yeah, never
Anybody
ending.
exciting?
You know, we should do a deep dive. Maybe it's a Patreon only deep dive of the couple as like a meet the cast to come up. That'd be really great. We can think about that.
So
Um,
nobody interesting?
I don't know names right now to give you.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why. Sorry. This is the second time you put me on the spot, girl. You love doing it. I love
You've
you. I
been
love you.
watching. I mean, like, I guess I just assumed, like, if you're like, oh yeah, there is this one couple where the girl is like with him, and I don't know, like, if they gave like a little tidbit of something like exciting. That's what I was asking.
Nope. Anyway, okay. So if you want to follow us, you can on social media. Instagram is DocuSweeties. We're also DocuSweeties1 on TikTok and Twitter. Um, and then also if you want to see our faces, including Wall like sort of like scratching her head and me with my
I'm like,
pillow curler curls. Just like living our best life on the stream, honey, just like posing. We both have do you have makeup on right now?
no, I'm just trying to like detangle like some of the braids that came out. Like the hair is like tangled, so I'm trying to like detangle it.
Oh
Kind
yeah,
of.
that's what I was doing, remember? Yeah. Trying to get that rat's nest out there, honey. That's what happens back there for me.
Yeah.
Having said that, we love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening, wherever you're listening, and also for rating us 5 stars. If you haven't, go ahead and do that. And then what I'm saying would be true that you would have done it. And listen, it feels so good sometimes to tick something off a list, especially during the holiday time. Wah?
Yeah, so if you want to see the visuals of what you're hearing, you can join us at patreon.com/docusweeties, and that is for $10 a month. And I think we're going to talk about some cool stuff coming up. So Give us suggestions on documentaries you would like us to watch. I'm in vote for Killer Sally. There's a few that we got to get out, so let us know.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you have a great day. Okay. Bye.
Bye.